Since the end of the last World War, the world seems to be at peace. But in fact, conflicts still occur in many places. The potential danger of war still surrounds us. In the Middle East, conflicts between different ethnic groups are increasing. At the US border, immigrants from other regions serve different purposes than Americans, and so on. We are in various conflicts every day. In small ways, we will have disagreements with strangers. In large ways, different countries have different risks of war. But how can we avoid it? Some people say that only absolutely powerful power can control the spread of violence, while others say that only complete democracy can eliminate a war. Various discussions surround this still unresolved problem through art or economics or is it political? But today we need to discuss this issue in the most direct and rational way of humans, which is philosophical discussion. Philosophy is the ultimate study of human wisdom. It can study the nature of intelligence, the meaning of the universe, and this pure intelligence can also be used to study how to eliminate a war and conflict. When this happens, we call it ethics in philosophy. Through discussion of ethics, we can learn what is right, but before we discuss it, we interviewed some college students and let's see what are their thoughts.
Hello, we are doing some research about the war and conflict. Can we get your opinions?
Sure, I am free fortunately.
Okay, in the history of human being, there are always wars among the different tribes, areas, and countries. It seems that there will always be conflicts and contradictions between people. And for your opinion, what is the fundamental reason?
Cause the religions conflicts, people will fight each other because they just believe in different gods, from ancient time to the present.
What is the fundamental reason?
Land issue am not very clear.
I guess it's because different ethnic groups have different personalities.
I think it's differences. There are always quarrels and conflicts because people have different beliefs, different customs, and different lifestyles, and so on. There are always differences between any two people, let alone between different races and countries.
So what you are saying is that the difference between physical and mental causes conflict. That was a compelling point. In this way, what can prevent this conflict from us?
Maybe get more knowledge of different knowledges.
The more we know, the less mistake we make. So the most useful thing I think is education.
Literally education.
Of course, education. In the university, you can hardly find serious conflicts between different races or nationalities. With the more and more books I read, I found that the racism and violence are becoming more and more meaningless in my heart. That was a natural process. Oh, and in addition, the intercultural communication is also important.
Yeah, communicating with the people who live far away ourselves is a crucial process of eliminating peace. But in this way, we will make many difficulties such as language issues. How do you face such a challenge?
Well, I think it's not a difficult thing because I have some foreign friends.
In my opinion, for intercultural communication, there are two things that need to be careful. One thing is do not offend others. The other thing is not to let others offend yourself.
Well, would you please explain it?
When we contend with the foreign guys, there are many problems like language, customs, and misunderstand, and so on. But only one condition is serious, that offense. Not matter is you offend others or others offend you. The communication will definitely fail, so be kind and respect yourself is the most important for intercultural communication.
How would you face such a challenge?
Just be respectful to other guys. The same goes for the communication between countries. No matter one country is weak or strong, poor or rich, as long as the country does not actively affront others with regions, other has no reason to invite it. And no matter one person is tall or short, his language skill is good or bad, as long as this guy keep respectful, other has no reason to blame him.
In conclusion, through interviews with these students and their questionnaires, we can know the views with the highest support. When asked about the most fundamental cause of the war, most people answered that it was the cultural differences or differences in national customs. We will also experience discomfort when meeting people in our lives who are very different from us. Communication studies, this is called uncertainty. When this feeling affects only one person, at most it will only change the person's social strategy. And when this uncertainty affects an entire country, it may lead to great ill will from the entire country towards another group. And this is often one of the reasons of the war. Of course, the most fundamental reason may still be the lack of economic and resources, but this factor can be used as a reason for war. In order to avoid meaningless conflicts, several things are important. On the one hand, having more contact with people from different cultures can help eliminate some prejudice. When you feel that you have ill intention towards certain groups, you can travel to distant places and try to content these groups. On the other hand, different levels of education often determine whether a person is rational. So, if you don't want your prejudice to affect your relationship with others, you can try to read more books. Finally, prejudice and discrimination are the common enemies of all mankind, and they will lead to war. For the sake of the world peace, please try to understand others.